What's up, Pokken Maniacs? It's your Route 1 encounter, Ubar Eradicate, back again with some Pokken news. There hasn't been any Pokken news in a little while, but just recently, Pokemon Company International... Wow, I'm getting a phone call. Pokemon Company International announced that at the Pokemon Championships series this year, Pokken will be changing format. Pokken will be switching to a 3v3 format via the team battle function that was added in Pokken DX, which a lot of people didn't realize, I guess, did actually come out as compatible with LAN about a year ago. I want to say it was I want to say it was the Aegislash patch. If it wasn't the Aegislash patch, it was the Blastoise patch. One of those added LAN as a function for 3v3. So that's not news. That's been a thing. You guys gotta keep up. But I want to talk about this for a couple of reasons. I'm gonna try to keep this as non-personal as I possibly can. This is going to be kind of an information/opinion piece on this announcement and, everything surrounding it. But I do have to say real quick, just in regards to Pokken community, I was kind of shocked when the announcement happened at the immediate knee-jerk dismissal and like negative reception of it. Guys, I don't know if you guys, Pokken players follow Pokken, because I don't really, honestly. I'm out of the game. I'm kind of a scrub in this, so I'm going to try to keep my character predictions to a minimum when it comes to who's going to be good, who's going to be bad in this format. But, guys, there hasn't been a lot going on with Pokken outside of our own events, right? Like, there's no new characters, there's no new whatever. And we get an announcement that there's going to be, first of all, a third season, which is exciting. But second of all, that, there's a new meta, there's a new format change, and that's interesting and that's exciting. And we've been talking for the past 2 or 3 days, about all the new things that are going to come out of this. But, we had pro Pokken players calling this the death of Pokken. We had people losing their minds, unfollowing other people over saying that they would enjoy playing 3v3. Everyone went completely insane. I missed the trash fire because I was at work, but I heard that the server was a big mess. Guys, at the beginning of this, all I'm going to say is that I am surprised that me, Mr. Negative, had to be the voice of reason in this situation. I don't know what all that's about, but let's talk about there's a reason I bring that up, is because people were saying, no, don't do this as the main format. I don't want to see this at other events. And the question that I kept asking, and that a couple people kept asking, was, why not? Is there an actual reason why this is not viable, why it's not competitive, why it's not, wanted, as an interesting shift in perspective after we've been playing 1v1 for 2 or 3 years now. And, I'm open to it. I was open to having 3v3 be the main format when it was announced for DX. I think it's cool. And having played a bunch of it, I think it's really fun, and I don't think it takes that much longer. But, to get into some of that, so, first of all, a lot of people seem to not want it because it's different. I went into the server after work, and I was like, okay, somebody calmly and quickly explain to me what the problem is with 3v3, because I don't see a problem. And the response I got back from one Zaskill was, because it's different. And, immediately I accepted that as the correct answer and moved on with my life. No. But, I was like, that's funny. That's a funny joke, but I'm sure people have their reasons. But as we talked about it, it became a little apparent that it was really just because it was different. And that's not a reason. And while I will invite you to, give your opinion in the comments section down below, or at me on Twitter about it, whatever you want, I'm not accepting because it's different as a viable, a reasonable, complaint. Again, guys, come on. Because it's different when we play a game that's different. Anyway, we started getting into character-specific issues, like the way that you don't get recoverable health back at the end of the round, so Pokemon like Shadow Mewtwo and Blaziken would have a hard time. But the thing with that is that that's not a reason not to run the format. That's the meta. Like, if Shadow Mewtwo's trash in 3v3, he's trash in 3v3. That's the meta. Like, I think what a lot of people weren't getting about this, and I don't know why they weren't getting it, but a lot of people weren't understanding that all these things that we were talking about, like somebody said that the support meta is dead. Like, support meta doesn't die because we switched to 3v3. Now, support choice is part of your team synergy. You know? Just like your lineup is part of your team synergy. So, I don't... It's weird. But the only legitimate complaints I've heard is that for this particular event, for the Oceania qualifier coming up, that qualifier takes place on February 15th, and that's very short notice to learn 2 characters if you're a solo main. That's the only legit complaint that I've heard, but again, that's for this event, and for going forward into the future of Pokken, I still don't see a problem with this, you know, going forward. But, yeah, so the way 3v3 works is you pick your 3 characters, you get a point, a mid, and an anchor. It works on KOF rules, where one character dies, next character comes in, but you do get to choose which character comes in next. So you can pick your 3 in order in the beginning, and then when your first Pokemon dies, you can pick either of your last 2 to switch to, which is cool. Another thing that's cool is that in KOF, the way it works is every round you get 1 more meter. So when your point character starts, he has 3 meters, or they have 3 meters. When the point character gets knocked out, the mid character then has 4 meters. And then when that character gets knocked out, the anchor has 5 meters. And meter carries over between rounds. You get a little bit of health back between rounds. Not a full health bar, but I think it's 20%. I'm not positive. I might be thinking of Pokken with that, but you get some health back, you get more meter, right? So you have a battery character up front who builds meter for the mid and anchor characters to use because they will have more meter over time. Pokken's meter transfer works on a percentage. Because not all characters' synergy gauges are the same size in this game, they transfer over on percentage, which creates an interesting meta in and of itself, because your battery character is literally a battery for mid in a way that's specific to Pokken, and it doesn't really work the same way as KOF, because you have a character like Pikachu who builds meter once a round, and you have a character like Mewtwo who takes 3 rounds to build meter sometimes. And if Pikachu comes out and builds up their meter and then gets knocked out, then Mewtwo comes in with full meter. That's the meta, is meter management in that regard. And when you're playing as a character like Blaziken or Shadow Mewtwo, your regenerable health, or your recoverable health management is also a resource that is specific to the 3v3 meta. And I think it's going to be really cool. And a lot of people are of that opinion, that it's going to be very cool. I think that a lot of characters that aren't so great in 1v1 are going to become a lot better in 3v3. Blastoise, for example, is one of those characters people keep talking about is going to be mid-tier in 3v3, hopefully. To talk about the characters a little bit, not too much like I said, but I think that Garchomp is going to be an amazing anchor for people who can play him, because he does well without meter, he does well with meter, he has a ton of health, and in a situation where he can be coming in with full meter and full health against an opponent with, you know, mid, half full, no meter, and, like, reduced health, great situation for Garchomp, especially after 2 games of, 2 or 3 games of conditioning with other characters. I think Libre is going to be incredibly strong on point. I think Lucario is going to be the just add water. I think Min's put it, he's the Virgil of this situation, where just slap him on your team wherever point, mid, anchor, don't matter. He's going to do it. He's going to do it all day till the cows come home, till the Miltanks come home. And I think Charizard's going to be really great. Mewtwo honestly can go mid or anchor for me. My personal team is going to be Scizor, Blastoise, Mewtwo, just because those are the 3 characters that I play already. I'm going to have Scizor up front, Mewtwo in the middle, and Blastoise in the back, because the way I play Scizor and Blastoise, I'm fine with or without meter, honestly. I think support set wise, I'm gonna go with Mew until I work with Rayquaza and Mimikyu a little bit, because I want buffs on Blastoise and Mewtwo, but I want Mega Rayquaza for Scizor. And if I can get used to Mimikyu and get my attack buff off the counter attack, then that'll work well for Blastoise and Mewtwo, I think. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. Leave your opinion on this in the comments to let me know what you're thinking, because I've been trying to take in everybody's, perspective, and kind of like, I'm trying to be like unbiased and reasonable about this. I know that the entire beginning of this is all biased about like, yeah, it's a good thing. You're stupid if you think it's a bad thing. It's not that I think you're stupid if you think it's a bad thing, but like, again, I just have to say, guys, I think it's foolish to dismiss the concept of this so quickly. People were saying the game's not balanced for 3v3, and I mean, the game's balance is kind of wonky for 1v1, honestly. Like, I think the way the game systems work, characters are balanced, but like, rewards for guessing are kind of high sometimes for a lot of characters. And characters like Blastoise, I've thought about Blastoise a lot, where his design isn't inherently bad, it's just bad in Pokken. It's kind of like, I feel like Astaroth and Soul Calibur is kind of a similar way, where his concept isn't bad, but it just doesn't work with the systems of the game, right? Whereas Libre and Garchomp and Lucario and Decidueye and, they all benefit well from the systems at hand, from the way everything works. And then there's the really good characters like Braixen, who doesn't have to play to the systems. Braixen, who can kind of just do whatever they want. I saw somebody say that Braixen was going to be dead in this because support choice is going to be hard. I don't know what planet you're on, but Braixen can take any old support any old day and be okay. Braixen will be okay. Yeah, let me know what you think of the format. Let me know who your teams are, your team support choice, and support cheer choice, because of course, I guess I haven't really said, but in case you don't know, you pick one support set and one support cheer for your entire team for all 3 games. So, they're for however many rounds there are. Yeah, your support choice is part of your team synergy, and your cheer skill is also part of your team synergy. So when I play Mewtwo, I play either Mew or Togekiss with special cheer. When I play Scizor, I play Mega Rayquaza with special cheer, or Whimsical. And then when I play Blastoise, I play any of 100 supports, depending on the matchup, with support cheer. But for Blastoise, I can just go Mew, if because the attack buff gives him his Armored Grab, and so any buff support will work for him. I like Togekiss because it gives him footsies. So when I look at my 3 characters, Mewtwo and Blastoise have supports in common. I can use Mew or Togekiss with either of those characters, and I will be okay, generally speaking. If I'm fighting against a Chandelure or a Braixen or something, I'm going to want something else for Blastoise, but if I play my cards right, I won't have to fight those characters as Blastoise, which is another beauty of the 3v3 system, is if I know my opponent has Braixen, now I have to kind of like counterpick before the match starts of, do I want to save Scizor for the Braixen matchup, or are they going to go Braixen first? So, what do I want to do in that situation? But the problem with my team is Scizor is off, right? I can play special with Mewtwo and Scizor, but I want support for Blastoise. So Blastoise is going to have to take a hit because I'm going to play special for all 3 of them. Where at the same time, while Mewtwo and Blastoise can use Mew, I want Rayquaza for Scizor. So now the whole team's going to have to adjust to the fact that I want Mega Ray on Scizor. And so luckily, Mega Ray is paired with a buff support in some way, shape, or form. I just have to make that work because I've never used Mimikyu before. I think that this is actually going to be really good for the support meta, because now it kind of makes more sense to have pairs, right? Because it's like you get one of these 2 options, and a support set will be better or worse for a team, whereas normally when you pick a character, like if I pick Mewtwo, I'm going to run Togekiss. I could switch to Rotom, but I probably, if I'm playing a matchup with Togekiss, I probably have a game plan for Togekiss, and I might not need Rotom. If I'm playing with Farfetch, I might not need Electrode necessarily, you know? So I think that this actually makes a lot of sense for the way support pairs work. And I think it'll be a lot of fun going forward. I think that's all for now. So, yeah. Drop your teams in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling about the whole thing. And thank you guys for watching. And I guess I'll see you out there.